Hey everybody, and welcome back to SD. I am back home in San Diego after a couple weeks. Haven't unpacked yet. See, a lot of things. Israel was great. The nutrition conference was awesome. I am going to change things up with my blog sooner or later, make it look more organized, and maybe go a different route with it. So we'll see. A lot of thoughts in my head about Israel. Checked out the school, Tel Chai. Pretty awesome school. A little scared, because my Hebrew is still a little shot, so I don't know if I'd go in there tomorrow. But I loved Israel. What you need to know about Israel. What did I do in Israel? It was great. I did the program, the nutrition conference. It was a 3-day thing. First day, we learned about eating disorders in children and how that leads to failure to thrive, which basically means the child doesn't grow properly. This is caused because parents are as paranoid as I am when it comes to food and health, and they go overboard and they don't feed their kids right, and their kids don't know how to eat themselves, and blah blah blah. Actually really intense stuff. Learned a lot. Blew my mind. I didn't even know about failure to thrive. Second day I learned all about the Mediterranean diet, which is basically saying eat olive oil. Really. No, it's actually cool. Actually, I'll take you downstairs and show you a cool little pyramid. Hold on. Anywho, by the way, the TV's on. Ignore it. TV on. Where is that lovely little... here. Okay. Bam. See this? This is the wrong pyramid, actually. I don't know why this is here. This is not the pyramid. This is one pyramid, but then there's the other pyramid, I mean to say. Here we go. This will be the right one. So, this is what I'm talking about, the Mediterranean diet pyramid. One thing that's really cool and what most pyramids don't have, look at the bottom. And yes, it's in Hebrew, but I'll translate. Look at that, look at the bottom, look. Has really nothing to do with food other than hanging out while eating. It's about lifestyle. How cool. The most important part about your diet is your lifestyle. Then what you drink. Notice it's mostly water, some coffee or tea, and whatever else you want. Then you have your fats and your fruits, which I love how they combine them together. I believe in that absolutely. And your grains. And your veggies, your nuts, and so forth. Yes, they do put cheeses in there. Do agree if you're not like me and get too much gas, well, have cheeses. Fish and meat and potatoes, and then whatever the hell you want. Cheat a little bit. See? La. One of the pyramids I do to some degree believe in. Each, by the way, there's also this little thing right here. Saying, basically, wine is good for you every now and then. Just saying. Cool pyramid. So that was day 2. Learned about the Mediterranean diet and took a leadership course. Oh my gosh, this leadership workshop was God. I met Beatrice Dykes, who's this woman who owns hospitals and who basically takes care of all the nutrition in the hospitals and all this so forth, and she was hilarious and great. I got to talk to her and she taught me a lot, and she's one of the people who really has me considering becoming a dietitian over a nutritionist. Still considering it. We'll see what happens. Day 3. What did I do day 3? What did I do? Oh, I learned about diabetes, which was really cool. More about the Mediterranean diet, because that was the main concept. It was really about how the fear with the Mediterranean diet is the amount of fruits you do have. Dates, pomegranates, so forth. By the way, I had this bag of dates free sample. I scarfed them down, okay? They were gone in an instant. Fresh Israeli dates are amazing. But yeah. It was about how the diabetic could change the Mediterranean diet to fit their lifestyle, which is actually really cool. We also learned a lot about eating disorders, about the lifestyle through eating, about different programs in Israel, how they're studying so many different things, about grains, fats, pomegranates, dates. What I learned about pomegranates in less than an hour and a half is amazing. What it can do for you, what everything can do for you. Yeah, it was great. Then I went to the school on the weekend, on Sunday, to check it out, Tel Chai University. Hot as hell, dude. Let's go back upstairs, because I don't want the TV distracting me, or you. So yeah, what else? Sorry, I had to be quiet there, because my little brother is sleeping. Kind of jealous of him right now. Haven't slept in days. That's okay. Alright, so. Tel Chai University. Great school. Is up north in Israel. Hot as can be. It was about 100 and something degrees up there. I was sweating. It was dry too. Kind of like a Utah summer, except hotter. Right? How insane is that? So you go there. Realize there's no program in English that they have, like I was hoping they would. Which is fine. The girl showing me around was really cool. The place is nice. It's in the middle of nowhere. Alright, Sonoma State has more exciting things to do. How sad is that? For those of you who haven't been to Sonoma, you have wine tasting. You have Santa Rosa that has some stuff going on. You have San Francisco an hour away. Tel Chai has a tiny little mall. Some kibbutzes to look around. You can go check out the border of Lebanon and some other borders. Really gorgeous. The view is spectacular. The school's great. We'll see what happens. After that, what did I do? Oh, I forgot to tell you. Friday, Pride Parade was insane. So much fun. Went, got ridiculously sunburned. So worth it. Had fun that night. It's huge. I think it's bigger than the one here in San Diego. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's bigger than the one in San Diego. And crazier, considering it went from downtown Tel Aviv all the way to the beaches of Tel Aviv. And then a concert right afterwards. How sick is that? So great. So awesome. Had the time of my life. Met some people from Sweden, Australia, Austria, Norway, England, all these places. It was cool. And back to everything. So, met a lot of my mom's friends. Was planning on seeing my friends, but everyone works nowadays. So, didn't get to see most of them. I did get to see some of them, which was great. I went to... What else did I do there that you need to know about? I don't know, nothing really exciting except seeing Old Jaffa, which was fun. By the way, my mom has some crazy friends that honestly I could care less with, okay? But there are a few in her life that mean more to me than anything, and I thank God I got to spend the time with them. I got to spend time with Dorit for a weekend. Oh, that's right, Jerusalem. That's what you need to know about. So, went to Jerusalem to see Dorit and her family, which was so cool. We saw the light show, which is in the old city of Israel, basically on the walls of old Jerusalem. It was gorgeous. And then I went to Yad Vashem, which changed my life, alright? I don't know if... First off, you're in Israel. You're in what has become due to the Holocaust happening. And then there's the museum right there. That's one thing. And then you walk in, you kind of instantly feel like this place is important to Israel. And you walk in to the actual museum itself. I had these really dorky headphones that give you the English version of everything. You immediately walk in, you turn your head left, and you see this triangle-shaped movie art. It just kind of takes you through the Jewish lives before the Holocaust, before all the laws, even before the Holocaust happened. Before the Holocaust happened, things were changing, and this video showed life before those changes. And you see how happy they were and how acclimated they were. They weren't just Jewish, they were Jewish German, they were Jewish Polish, Jewish this, they were Jewish, but they had their own nationalities, and they lost that all because of one man's power and his ability to brainwash people, basically, and for other reasons, of course, but that's the gist of it. You see that, and you hear, the little headphones telling you, what it is, and you're like, oh, crap. Now I feel like shit watching how happy they were. And then you turn right, and you go into this zigzag maze of just rooms of sadness. Right? You first walk in and you see this image of Jewish people being piled up with logs and burnt to death. And you go into a room where there's just images of death. There's images of the beginning of it, of the laws that were taking place, of things taken away. I mean, imagine even before the concentration camps, before the ghettos, their lives were slowly taken away. First, there was vandalism told by the government to vandalize everything and take everything from them, right? Then the government mandated that they needed all their stuff taken away. And then, to top that off, comes the ghettos. And you have to live with them. You have to wear certain patches and hats and so forth that make you a Jew. And to any other extent, a gypsy, a gay, a black, a whatever is not blonde-haired, blue-eyed Christian, you have to make sure people know that you are not a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Christian. So everything's taken away from you. Even before you're dead, you're gone, you're nothing. And you go through these rooms, and it goes chronologically, so you slowly see it happening, and you see how it wasn't just Germany, but in Russia, and Poland, and France, and everywhere. And then there's a room where you see all the ghettos. Which, I mean, first off, biggest one, Warsaw, most people know of, was intense, but then you have others, and then you go through the concentration camps, Auschwitz, Birkenau. There's a room just specifically for Auschwitz. And God, you feel the pain. And I know I'm uber sensitive. I felt the pain, alright? You walk into it and feel it. You really do. And what hit, after even going through the concentration camps, what hit me the most was at the end, there's this room where it's this small, tiny room dedicated to those who sacrificed their lives, who went beyond and tried to save people. My grandma was lucky enough to have a couple who did that for her. Unfortunately, they couldn't do it for her whole family, and I wish they could. But I thank God every freaking day that family said, we have room to save one of your children. We are willing to do that. Just imagine that. So imagine knowing that and then walking into this room and there's first Schindler's List posted up right in front. And again, you're going through the headset and headset's telling you all this nice stuff. And for me, I stopped listening in this room and just looking. And to be honest, I was looking for the names of these parents, but I couldn't find it, unfortunately. And then I looked in the garden and unfortunately couldn't find it, but that's okay. You know, I know they're there. I know they're being honored. But yeah, and you see all these different stories. All of them. I mean, you see Suso Mendes, right, was his name, who Portugal worked in the government. Can't remember exactly. Consulate. That's the word I'm looking for. He was in the consulate and he saw what was going on in France and how Germany was about to take over, so he saved a lot of Portuguese Jews' lives and took them out before anything horribly wrong could go wrong. All these stories, and unfortunately a few stories that aren't in there that kind of upset me. John Paul II, may he rest in peace, who was a savior himself. He saved lives. People don't know that. By the way, history lesson, John Paul II, one of the greatest popes out there, who unfortunately had to pass away, and his legacy is being demolished by some Nazi jaw. Alright. He saved lives, John Paul, before he was ever a pope. That's why Israel loved him, that's why everyone loved him, and because he was so open to everybody. And again, unfortunately, I couldn't find the story of this couple that saved my grandma's life, and I think that hurt me the most. But it was so great just being in that room and knowing that they're in this memorial being honored for saving the life of one of the most amazing people in my life. And so, yeah, you go through it, you end it. At the end of this one particular, the main museum, you exit, right? You're so intensely just sad. Oh, forgot, before that, there's one last room. I call it the Yizkor room, which is the room of remembrance. And it's so architecturally awesome, alright? But you gotta understand why. It's this cone, right? You walk into this cone, and before you walk into the cone, this circular room has binders and binders and binders just saying Yizkor, and these binders are filled with this 11 million, 6 million Jews, even more, 11 million people total were killed. So you see these books and you're like, oh, dear God. And then you walk into the center and you look up into the cylinder and you see these images of people who are trying to remember, who were killed, murdered, died because they were so sick, died because they couldn't deal with it, died because they were fumigated, were killed, being burnt to death, stabbed to death, shot to death, killed in many different ways. And you see it and you look up and you're like, oh, that's a shit ton of pictures. And then you look down and there's this, it looks even like a million more. It looks like the 11 million people killed. Great. Slightly ruined, just a little bit, because some idiots decide to put pennies and coins in there. I don't know why. Thank you, idiots, for being F-tarded. So you see that, and then you go out and finally see the exit, and the exit is just this sliding door into this beautiful image of Israel. A sign of hope. And that's what Israel's always been about. Israel is a sign of hope, not just for Israelis, but if you want to get political, for Palestinians, for Russians, for Ethiopians, for everyone. It's like, it's the America of the Middle East. And that's what this image is supposed to portray. So you see that and you feel great, right? You feel awesome. You're like, oh, this is nice. No, it's not over. Just wait a minute. After this beautifulness, after you think it's done, you go up and you see children memorial sign telling you to go that way. Alright. So you walk inside this dark room. This not pitch black. This just dark room is just dark. And you see this little like gate thing. I don't know. It's a little wall. Alright. I don't know how to explain it. And on the other side is this just gravestone with names. Alright, it's a giant gravestone with a bunch of names, and you're like, for me, my heart just sunk. And I'm like, these are children. 10, 12, 4, 5 ages. Alright. They didn't make it. There's a light for them, in remembrance for them, because they didn't make it. You're like, oh, yeah. After that, I sat down and I said to myself, I don't know if I can take anymore. I'm like, let me just try. And I tried walking through the garden. I tried everything, and I was just like, I need to walk out. I will finish next time I go, but I couldn't anymore. So I just walked out. I called up Dory, who picked me up. I was just like, I'm done. Took me 3 hours total to finally be like, yeah, I can't. So I left. Not before I bought some stuff. Gift shop, gotta do it. So yeah, that was Jerusalem. I also did a few other things in Jerusalem, and then I went home, had a very fun bus extravaganza. It was awesome. That's a story to tell of getting to Tel Aviv, waiting for a bus that never showed up, and deciding to take a taxi at 1 o'clock in the morning. Very fun. And that was that. Yeah, aside from that, I finished my quarter for school. I ran a lot, walked a lot, did a lot, realized that food is fresher and more delicious in Israel because there's no GMO, no messing with fruits and veggies whatsoever. It was delicious. And their eggplants. Oh, there's these wild eggplants just the size of my head and bigger. That tasted amazing. It tasted like an eggplant, but sweeter, a bit more bitter. The skin almost tasted like an eggplant flavored apple. I don't even know. That sounds bizarre, but it was so delicious. And I went out with Lily and Schwartzy, who are my mom's two best friends, which is great. I went out with a few other people, saw some friends, did some things, and it was spectacular. And now I'm back, debating on what to do with life. And we'll see. So yeah, I know I'm going to change up my blog. I will make it more organized, plan it out more. I want to do something more nutrition based. I want to show you why I love nutrition, why I love food, why I'm addicted to it, why it's good for you, why it's everything for you. And not just that, I want to teach you something. So things are going to change. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I'll let you know. So until then, and until next time,